is the final things that we've had to do to actually get it ready to separate the shells. So, key thing under here is there is the exhaust mount that has been cut now from here and here. We've actually left everything else in on the exhaust because it is all linked to the roller skate. Absolutely nothing at all is connected now to the shell. So we've done that. We have also, not that it was really needed, but we've actually disconnected the fuel filler from here. Now this is all staying, the fuel tank is actually staying with the actual shell as it comes off. So we really don't need to do much to the fuel other than making sure that it's not connected. I'll come back to the chains in a minute. So what we've done, we've also done down here, this is where we've had to disconnect the brake from. This is just been bent up out of the way. This is basically now all subframe, which is staying. This was the point that it linked into the shell. We've disconnected it there, all good. We've also drained the fuel tank, but actually we went and cut the fuel pipe there, but actually we didn't really need to in the end. What we ended up doing was just basically siphoning fuel directly from here into another bottle, and that got rid of pretty much everything apart from the last few dregs. And then what we've done instead on the fuel is we've basically disconnected it here. This is the point it comes from the actual body and goes across to the engine, so that is it there. That is basically the link. So we've cut it there, taped it all up so we don't actually have anything that we need getting in the way, and I've just put a bolt in there to stop any fluids, any petrol from coming out. So that's all now neatly out the way. We've also taken out all of the pedal box. So if we come around here, you can see we've taken out all the pedals. That allowed us to get the throttle cable out, which went through there, and also we've now removed pedals from here. So not really needed as such, but the main one that was needed was the clutch, which was here. And that actually came all the way round down to here and then connects into this bit. So I've taped this up. This is linked to the engine and the gearbox. That is now taped up out the way. All of then the connection that we've had going back in to what was the actual master cylinder here has all now been removed and out the way, just to give us clearance here as well. So that's all been disconnected. Underneath, Dave went and disconnected the anti-roll bar, so at the moment it's just hanging down out the way. It was connected here, and here, but this has just been dropped down out the way. Rusty as heck on the ends, so we've just left it there. We can deal with that later, but it's now separate from the actual chassis, so that's been good. And right in there you can see we've now taken the steering column. It's a bit of a pain, a little bit stuck, never been taken out before, but that basically was up there and came through into here. That now has been cleared, so that's also clear. So we're in quite a good space actually now. We've got one more thing to do on the front, which I'll come back to in a minute. But one of the pains in the bottoms that we've had is getting the actual correct nuts off. You can see the thread here. This is a very, very long thread. There's a bolt in here, a thread and a nut here, and then there's another thread and a nut here. Now, they put threads on these to allow them to locate the chassis into the subframe, but that is a heck of a long actual thread, which means you can't fit a normal socket on. You also can't fit on this particular one. We're pretty sure you wouldn't be able to fit an extra deep socket either, so we had to do this with a spanner. Now, the issue with that is getting the right leverage in there to actually be able to actually do so. Oh, and actually while I'm here, before I go and show you what we did for the spanner, we're just putting some blocks of wood under here, just to actually, when we release the suspension as this goes back on the ground again, it's just going to give some level of support at the point we take the actual strut braces off the top, the struts, unbolt those. As this comes up, there's a danger then that the suspension collapses, so we're just putting blocks of wood in the front and back just to kind of actually make sure that isn't a problem. But anyway, back to my bolt and nut issue. What we basically did was take a ring spanner, cut the end off, had to grind away the actual outer hardening and then cut it, and then that can now fit nicely into a big bar. And we then put the bar as a breaker in to here, and then we can actually use it, and actually it came undone surprisingly easy with a load of plus gas on it to actually make sure that we managed to release it. That is a very, very cheap and easy way of doing it. Highly recommend that as a good way, but do that early because it took forever doing that at just a quarter of a turn each. Took forever. So what do we have to do left? We've got the front bolts we have to do on the front, which we're going to do in a minute. And they're just under here, 2 bolts there. And the final piece of the puzzle will be unbolting our wonderful HSD coilovers on each of the mounts, and then we're pretty much good to go. Now the final thing I wanted to show is what we've done inside ready. We are using chains for the lifting up on it, and my beautiful assistant will probably demonstrate. So we've got chains that we bought from Screwfix, and that will go together like that. So these chains are rated at 400 kilos, these D-links are rated at 800 kilos each, and then we have, what we've done is basically connected them around here. So this is where the actual wiring for the door comes through. We've connected them with a D-link around here. These are the 10mm D-links from Euro Car Parts, and they're rated at 500 kilos each. So we've got so much, we've got a lot of margin in this. This shell overall pretty much weighs about 200 to 250 kilos. Thank you, Dave. And what we're doing is mounting it here in the back. We haven't done that up properly yet, but we're going to mount it here into the bolt through there, which is the bottom mount of the seat belt, so really strong. And as I said, we've got it coming into there. So basically that is the way we're chaining it. You'll see later if that is any good.